wherever you are. Laker Nation, come on out, come on out. Don't hide, don't hide. It's been a nice kind of ride. Don't hide, don't hide. Come out, Laker Nation, wherever you are. Don't worry. The broom is going to find you. The broom. You're back into your room. The end, the end. Where you at, Laker Nation? Where you at, Shannon Sharp? Where you at? Where your king at? Where that king at? All just mad with the crowd, all mad with everything. Just mad. Where you at? Oh, it's just fantastic. I'm having a feast right now. We're gonna have a party. We're gonna have a Laker party. We're gonna throw nothing but Laker confetti in the air. We gotta celebrate that in season tournament ring, that in season trophy. When you have that, what's up? When you have that one block parade, what's up, Laker Nation? We're gonna have that feast for that in season trophy where that pennant at. They're gonna be outside crypto, right? I think they're gonna have a block parade. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Confetti. What's happening? Are you drink? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna get it out because I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. The worst possible. All is we want Denver. Oh, we want them. It's better to have them early. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Could a stat pad against OKC. Maybe got on 7 games, beat them. Definitely free throw shooting. Send that young team home, maybe. Worst situation is to play a Denver team. I tried to tell you. Crackheads, it was like, you gotta be kidding me. Why would you want to play that team? Why, 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 why? Why, 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 why? We knew how it was going to end. We knew. But Jamal Murray with that, I haven't seen anyone make a face like that since I saw Andrew Bynum when Blake Griffin climbed the ladder. He ain't gonna shake hands because he bitter, unsportsmanlike, diva, crying. Everything didn't go his way. No, he shook hands with Jamal Murray when Jamal clapped him in that rim. That's when he shook hands. Look, he old. I loved it too. Oh, I loved the troll. I loved it. I loved it. Got up. See, Jamal is so underappreciated. Jamal got up there and shrugged. No one even knows Jamal. Jamal is like a different animal in the postseason. I tell you, he's scary. We're gonna find out now. We're gonna get a real heavyweight matchup. Now we're gonna really see some basketball. Him in Minnesota, but Jamal Murray is not to be slept on. Why they don't give Jamal Murray no due? As great as Jokic is, we're about to find out. About to find out. About to find out. If I'm LeBron, I seriously consider retiring or go somewhere else because it ain't gonna happen in La La Land. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. You still gonna say game 7? Where's the Lakers in 7? I'm waiting for it. You still got them in 7? Maybe 8, maybe 9. Not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, not 11. Come on now. Oh man, I cracked up. I was like, oh boy. Maybe. Hey, the way you play them guys, about the 25th time, you might beat them 4 straight. Yeah, you're not far off. Cause the fact that they didn't tore off in y'all 12 out of 13, you're not far off. You're absolutely not far off. It's crazy, insane. The way they just done tore off on y'all is just crazy. I'm telling you. Shaq and Magic's turn over in their grave. Kareem is too. The way they just tore off in y'all. I mean, and the thing is, the age thing goes out the window if you're a real facilitator, because if you're a real facilitator, you let AD score 40 plus points. I saw his little whack press conference talking about, yeah, I'm gonna recruit him and I want him and we've had some great years together. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You got a bubble ring and a made up horse horseshoe race at the church in season trophy. The heck is Andre Anthony Davis smoking? Looking like Lenny Kravitz. Are you gonna go my way? I want to know. I saw him. I'm like, you look like Lenny. You must have been snorting some Lenny too. Talking about some 5 great years. What have y'all done? What have you done? You've been an in-season player in terms of 3 straight. You done had you've had let me get it right. You've had 2 different coaches. I'll give her to say, well, LeBron got rid of Luke. Yeah. What the heck you talking about? What is you smoking? Cracking me up. Made me laugh though. I'm like, and look, and I told you the West is deep. So Houston's coming next year. They don't want him back. They don't want him back. If they do sign him, gonna get the basic minimum he gonna get. He don't get no money there. Probably end up in Utah somewhere or something. They don't want him back. That was embarrassing with the cell phone and an Easter egg. You don't come back from that. I know he was credible the last 2 games, but it was too little too late. And Magic dissed him so bad. Why would he come back? Why would he come back? Talk trash about him. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't really Reeves' fault. Problem is, they shouldn't even be starters, if you must know. They gonna trade him. Because Trae Young is hot on their list. They gonna definitely look in the market. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Well, I mean when he dissed him after the game, before. But it wasn't he ain't the reason why they lost. He ain't the reason. Problem is that that was a bad matchup for them. Jamal Murray is like 2 of them. He's and D'Lo and Reeves can't carry Jamal Murray's mustache. Okay, stop with it. You ain't got nothing for Jamal Murray. He be playing with y'all. Possum for 2 or 3 quarters, and he lights your butt up. And when he goes off, he goes to town. It ain't even up for discussion because he pretty much outscores Reeves and um, Reeves and D'Lo by himself. Please, you ain't got nothing like that. I'll say this though: if the Lakers had Jamal Murray with LeBron and AD, they go to the chip. You win the chip. Yeah, I mean, I would have said that anyway. I mean, he last year. I didn't need this year to prove that point because what gets lost about Jamal Murray is that he really is the second best player, but he's also clutch to holding his weight. Penny didn't have a long enough career, so I can't really say that because Penny to do that you have to almost put an asterisk. It's like Grant Hill. I can't really compare a guy who we didn't get to see hit his peak in his prime. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. So I really don't even want to put Penny in a discussion. I tell Ticket and anybody else who wants to discuss it, and I would discuss it with them. How about Jamal Murray versus Tony Parker? Because it's not fair with Penny because Penny didn't play but so long. Yeah, he got to a finals and that appearance and he had some success, but his track record wasn't as long. So it's not fair to really make that comparison. That's a good question. Uh he got the outside shot. Um ooh. Because he's athletic. I wanna say hmm, let me think. There's a part of me that's gonna tell you like a broke Boogie Cousins or a very more. I'll say this about Aaron Gordon, a better offensive version of Joakim Noah. Yeah, that's who I would say. Not because they light skin and the hair. You can make that correlation. Yeah, if Joakim Noah had an offensive game and that's you agree with the Joakim Noah? Yeah, a better version of Joakim Noah. That's what it makes me think of. The Noah one. The best football team of all time. That's very debatable. You're talking across eras, you're talking across times. I've seen teams that fit the criteria. I can't pick one. It's always hard to argue against the 72 Dolphins that were undefeated because they were undefeated. But then you can make a strong case for the 84 49ers, the 85 Bears. They lost one, they were dominant teams. So it's hard to say one. Those are three of them that come off the top of the dome. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because there's a lot of criteria involved. Depends on what your criteria is. You know, obviously, if that Patriots team that lost that one game, but it's hard. It's it's hard to pick one because it depends on your era. Depends on what your criteria is. If you're talking defense, offense, I can't say. I can't say one team that I can say teams that had great seasons, but to say that they were the best ever, well, the Dolphins in '72 because they were undefeated. Is that your criteria? But Bob Greasy is not considered one of the greatest quarterbacks, top tier. Don Shula is considered one of the greatest head coaches. So, oh, I told you that I'd been doing videos about that, and I had said that it was more evident in the West because I'm with it. I ain't got no problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not one of those cats that sits there crying in my milk talking about, I remember when Steph and LeBron went and Kawhi and Kevin Durant. I'm not saying that. What has happened is that because of the style of play, cats then came along and the baton got passed without people acknowledging it. I got no problem with it whatsoever. I don't. Not at all. I welcome it. I'm not one of those people that's gonna sit there and say, I mean, I'll say that about old school basketball because you gotta remember something. Steph is the last thing that I saw that changed. But what happened is everybody didn't caught up to what they do. So it's not groundbreaking like it was 10 years ago. They really did have the league under a spell. And he still got the league, he's still effective enough. Well, they can hang on all they want. You can too. That ship is about sail because the problem he's running into, all they got is stat padding. They don't have no W's. See, yeah, if you are all excited about the numbers he's put up and what he's done, great. But if we're talking about getting to the finals or dominance or chips, no. That's done. That's done. Well, with that whole thing with that Good Times reboot is what I had a problem with, you know. But, you know, I mean, listen, LeBron's had a great career and a run and all that, but it comes to an end like anybody else. You play long enough, you're going to have people come along and pass you by. There becomes a nemesis that you can't get by. If I'm LeBron and you Laker fans, I'll tell you this. If you even get to a finals and win again, he should retire ASAP. Don't be. And AD did drop it last night. AD said he got 2 more years. He said that. I heard him say in the press conference. I know he knows the end is near. His body ain't gonna take but so much wear and tear. And it's gonna be a time when he really looks defeated because it's starting to creep in. He knows good times, but I think that to sell it to what they wanted, he compromised. He should consider retiring. His body is shot. And listen, I was big on Kawhi. One of those guys that I know when everything was right, he was as good as it get. but he's done. And we can't sit here and romanticize and act like that Kawhi that went to Toronto's coming back through them doors, or that one in San Antonio's coming back. He hasn't been the same. But that's on the Clippers, though. I know it's a done deal. Yeah, people love to romanticize what they grew up on, but see, this is another thing too that I might do a video about it. I would unload Book, because Booker ain't gonna you ain't gonna never win with Book. He's a stat patter, and he is best served as a second, third option. He can be dangerous with a team that utilizes his. Matter of fact, if I was Milwaukee, but he played great with Giannis. He'd be a great sidekick with Giannis. Way better than what Dame was. See, my NBA GM hat be coming on. That's why I go live with this. I don't do regular shows because it's kind of hard to pull it off. But we do this brainstorm. Oh yeah, I got my GM hat. Oh yeah. But the only thing with the New York thing, and it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. But hear me out. If you could have somehow gotten a Rudy Gobert type with Brunson and him and Randall, then yeah. Because he could easily be the second feature and some nights look like the first feature if you could put like that together. You need like a Rudy Gobert blocking inside presence for Book with Brunson on the perimeters and Randall out. That would be a sick type of situation. That's what you need. You need a four-piece band to make Booker look good. I'm telling you. Because Booker is headed towards Paul Georgeville. That's what I see. Yeah, it was comical because he didn't because it's like this is Rudy Gobert we're talking about. You got to be kidding. But now, if Ant has emerged and he's the leader and they stay healthy and they're a functioning team, that looks like a power move that because he wasn't cut to be a second option. That was the problem in Utah. Him and Donovan were not on the same syncopation. Neither one of them is cut to be a top dude. But you put them in a situation where they can be a third option and look like a second and flirt with being a first, oh, you got you a steal. It's the Kirk Cousins maneuvering, but except guys actually play to that. They go anywhere from first to three option. In basketball, you can do that. That's why we don't really say role players anymore. But if you're good enough to manipulate what you got, it's like Suck 'em in Indiana. Pascal. Pascal can look like a first. He's really a second, and then he can float to a third, just like Porzingis. But if you got the right talent and mixture, you can manipulate. That's why we don't have role plays no more. It's manipulated situations. So yeah, they got very fortunate though. Minnesota did, but he don't mind his role. As a Clay replacement and teaming up with Steph, no, no. You would think light skin and a broke Clay to an extent, but no, because you got to have another piece that'll make that work. You got to have another piece to make that work. You can't be your second best player to look like your first. You got to have another piece to make that work. Yeah, but the problem is they gonna get burnt skin because he's half timing, and if Steph gets hurt, they in real trouble. That's the problem. So He should. He's stealing their money. He up there going to Mardi Gras and eating up eating all the gumbo. Shoot. I mean, come on now. And I did my video. I don't know if you saw it. I talked about him. See, I telling these cats, stop acting like y'all gonna be 25 for 20 years. Y'all better learn from Derrick Rose. You better learn from Blake Griffin. You better learn that if you squander and play around, you can get old quick in that league. There's Jaws on the clock too. Boy, you better wake up. He would fit good in Memphis with Ja. He would be a great fit in Milwaukee with Giannis. An even better fit in New York. He would be scary in Miami if he had discipline. Because him and Bam with Butler, and he's motivated and he gets under the Spolster Pat Riley workout regime, there's about 4 or 5 options for him. But the problem is him. Because he shows bum behavior. You saw what he did to your Lakers that one game. Which was 2 weeks ago almost. He don't play like that. Oh, he goes to New York and he hits, he's a steal. But New York, Milwaukee are best fits. Because you can remember the cast he has to play with. And of course, with Ja out with Memphis would be a scary 1-2 punch. That would save both their careers if they could make that work. That would be a scary 1-2 punch. But like I said, he's his own worst enemy. Oh well, listen, KD is a pro. He knows. He knows. He's a fan. He knows. LeBron will begrudgingly give it to him, but he feels slighted. Well, who cares? LeBron doesn't give AD his props. He just has AD slurp him, and AD look like a puppy, even though he should be giving him his props. He should make that man top 5 in the league. He ain't done his job. So before he can get to Ant, but yeah, you have to applaud what Ant's doing because Ant kept working at his game. He kept working at his game. And I'm sure KD is like, he remind me of me, except in a different way. But he can see it. He should. Because I'll tell you and any other Laker fan, you ain't going to ever see June again if you don't start feeding AD properly. What's happening? Salam alaikum. Because it ain't going to work with the stat pattern to get your 25 or your 29, 8, and 12 mess. That's not working. How'd it turn out for you, LeBron? Last 2 years. Stat pattern, what'd it do for you? Swept and knocked out in the first round by the same team in 2 different ways. I don't think so because Brunson ain't going to defer to them. If you said Brooklyn, I'd buy you. Not New York. They wouldn't want them. Doing all right. How you doing? Thank you for coming through. They don't want him. Yeah, well, he grew up on him. I mean, you kind of can't. These cats, that's what they seen. I mean, the guy been playing for 20 years, so, you know, that's what they seen. And realistically, for them, after LeBron, there's probably Steph the last 20 years. Or somebody that they, and then Durant. I mean, that's about it. because Kawhi didn't stay healthy. So, but Brunson, mm, you got to go back. James Harden before I say CP3. James Harden before I say CP3. Two things at work. Duncan wasn't the fan favorite like the ooh ah. And the other thing was there wasn't a lot of hype. Um, they want guys that sell jerseys and the hype and the hoopla. Now Duncan should be acknowledged like that, but I don't think it would. I'm just saying what I'm thinking because there's a certain cutoff period of era where cats from Braun to Steph to Durant, and that's what they've been selling if the last 15 years. So when you say Tim Duncan, Duncan represents another era that, unless they're diehards, they're not going to acknowledge because he won his rings at the early part, late '90s, early '00s, but there was no, it was a one offs, and then they back to back later in his career. Excuse me. Excuse me. So anyway, I'm I'm okay. When I say I'm sleepy, I'm gonna wait. Just depends on what the conversation is going. That's all. He was frustrated with Ham. He took it personal that Ham didn't challenge that play, and he's pouting like a little girl. That's what happened. And he still thinks that he can run the offense and do what he wants. And AD had gotten shaken a bit, but he was pouting. That's what it was. That's why I think Mike Malone was making those little digs when he was talking about Jokic was 0 for 0 from the free throw line, perfect. And he made those little digs about how he's pulling for Darvin Ham. Because Ham is not a bad coach. It's just that he can't coach that kind of level of ego. That's the problem. So you're probably going to be decked because that level of ego requires someone that has not just an IQ, but an understanding. And originally from the West Coast, from the East Coast and the South, and I lived in America originally. What about you? But that's what's up. He was ticked off at the Lakers. That's why Reeves got all the calls. I saw that. I saw that. I saw him mocking her too. I saw it. I saw the video. I mean, take your pick, however you want to go with that. Okay. He I said that cussing out the refs and dissing his coach and pointing fingers and just crying all the time because you can't control the outcome and the tempo. They give you more free throws and you still find a way to lose. You so fixated that Jamal Murray just flushes on your face. So I saw it. And I'm gonna tell you a story which ain't so foreign to you. If you've kept up with LeBron James, you know where that was going, except he's old. He's old. That's the only reason why Hammond wasn't fired 5 months ago when they got the Walmart pennant. He would have been fired back in January. Because Ham is toast. The clutch sportsmen don't like him at all. LeBron or AD. Bought and paid for. Mhm. She loves him because he brings in money like a good pet, like a good plantation field hand. She don't love him like as a man. She loves him what he can do for business because that's all it's about is stat padding and selling a certain lifestyle. It ain't based on winning. You can't be no 3 straight year playing tournament team and got knocked out one of them years and all you got is a bubble ring to show for it. I can't take you serious, Jeannie. I know what it's about. Shoot. Pat him on the head and you're a good boy and get a cookie. I ain't talking about no. This ain't no Laker basketball. This is business. This ain't about chips. I I'm gonna be called the biggest hater and hell I'm gonna stick to it because they're not about winning in LA. He should be. Shoot. I grew when the Lakers were about winning, and then you got the superstardom treatment, and then you blew up and all this. Not all this fanboy fainting and all hyperventilating, acting all like that, and you underachieve. And you lose to the same team twice. They own your butt. They your daddy. They beat you 8 out of 9 times. They beat you seven different ways. And the same player beat you 2 different ways. Your behind is embarrassing. Jamal Murray is beating you by himself at the end. Come on now. So, and Jokic is like an arcade. He's like a machine, 25 and 20 and 9, and just stocking numbers on you. You got nothing to stop him with. You got nothing. They just teeing off on you. You better be lucky that Denver doesn't match him and Jamal Murray, or your butt would have been decked. But because of the fact that they got to lighten the cakes on the bench and the way the Lakers let you can get roll over and get tired, I ain't heard nothing about him leaving. I ain't heard nothing about that. I say he probably got 2 more in him. I think he probably play at least one more for sure, past his 40, but I can't really see more than a couple tops. I believe AD. I ain't heard nothing about no leaving. Excuse me. He should though. He should consider retiring. He really should. Not because I'm hating or nothing, but because I'm looking at the West. Them teams is young, and I give them 3, and I'd say 2 more top tier. But if they don't get no help, that's it. He'll be stockpiling. He got a chance to get if he's healthy and motivated, 25 to 30,000 points. It'll help his resume out. But as far as like being chip worthy, he's only gonna have 3 more tops, and I don't see it. I don't see it because he has to almost be like 2016, 2015, 2016 Curry. I don't see it. Excuse me. He has to be at an MVP level, and I don't see it. And he could still get his stats. They won't. That's the most honest statement you made. They won't. Because the reason why you won't see it is because you didn't see the first one coming. And you have to put the work in. You have to really make it to the point where no one ever doubts what you're about, you know. And he played the kind of basketball that cats would play on the playground, but they played it from crazy range and he just made it work for him. So that's how I feel about that. And I'm big on Curry, but I don't know about that. I mean, you'll get somebody that comes along. Every generation's got a player that stands out in a different way, because there's only so many ways you're going to score and be creative. So I'm not gonna say they won't be there. I mean, if you're talking about someone that transcends, there'll be somebody comes along. It's just the way he did it. His is so epic because it took away positions. It's like everybody got to do a certain way. So no, but that's what makes him special. That's why when Shaq said that, I at first I kind of was like thinking, but then he's right because to me, he's one of a kind. But there will be somebody that comes along in the future that blows people's minds too, in a different way. And he's, like I said, one of the true greatest players ever. But, you know, I'm glad I pull for him, but I don't see nothing coming out of there beyond stats, which ain't bad because I mean he's got a great career. He was, he was, but it's in the past tense. You know, he was. Only cat I know with hardly no dribbles and just light your butt up, catch that thing, hit you up. Defense was on point. Yeah, you gotta say what you mean when you say he's special. I thought his offensive game was special. The defense was very good. He just got injuries and playing alongside Steph is the two things that work for and against him. Because quiet as is kept, you can make the case he was kind of like a Scottie Pippen. Could have been a Scottie type, except a better scorer, more consistent. But the injuries took him out. But his defense was the point. Yeah, he's scary with that. I'm told you, I haven't seen anyone who can catch it, shoot it like that. And to me, as great as Steph is, and there's no question, when Clay was on fire, they beat your butt by 20. That was the difference. Because Clay made that thing, Clay made you look bad. So yeah, well, you get hurt. That's what happens. But his feet sets was unique. I was talking about something else, but yeah, his ability to catch that thing, unload that thing, it's like hot potato. You know, it was uncanny and a thing, a very intriguing thing to watch. He's one of my favorite players ever. Yep. Oh boy, that's a toughie. Now you just asking me overall. It's not about the bag. It's about the whole thing, not just the bag. Because if it was about the bag, I'm taking my new. But if I'm going overall, I got to take Clay. Clay. Because of them big game sixes, I got to go with Clay. He was known as Big Game Six, so I got to go with Clay. He came up big for him, big. And Ginobili got a better overall game because of the things he did with the acting and the flopping. Even though Clay, I think, was a better defender, but Manu can match that in his versatility. But if I'm coming up for the game, the whole game, it's Clay. But I love them both, though. I mean, I got much respect for both of them because Ginobili was like a link to the bench to the starting, which Clay never could relate to. And I think if Clay had Manu's ability to be that versatile, it would have helped his game now. Of course, if Manu could shoot like Clay, he would have to be starting. So it's a catch 22. It's a good comparison too, because there's a lot of similarity, but there's a lot of differences. Oh, B Diddy, come on now, B Diddy, because Baron had spring in him. His game moved me. He was MVP worthy. Deron, aside from when he's with Utah, and he fell out with Sloan and all that craziness he said, his game never went nowhere after that. I thought Baron was bad. Baron put that hip on Dirk. Remember, game one out in Oaktown at the in 2007, put them cheeks on Dirk. Dirk was messed up. Baron was underrated. Yeah, we used to call him B Diddy, but you don't say that no more though. But I'm just saying, no Diddy. Oh yeah, did you see that on ESPN? What's his name? The brother. Oh God, help me out. He does the. He used to hate Brady. You know what I'm talking about. He put the Jets. What's his butt? Bart Starr. So there was a segment. I forgot what it was. You have to look it up on YouTube. He said he was talking. Oh yeah, he was talking about Caleb Williams and what's happening. And he said that Caleb was thick because they talking about a dude size and all that, right? And so Bart Starr says no Diddy, but he actually used that reference to talking about his neck down. I cracked up. He said that, so that made me think of that for a moment. But I got off track though. Yeah, the no Diddy came up. Yep, I was cracking up. I said no, he did. Then someone sent me that clip. I was cracking up. I said no, he didn't. He said no Diddy. So Puffy's in the lexicon. You remember 20 years ago, we used to say no homo. Now it's no Diddy. That's the one now. That's the one. That's the phrase. That's what's up in these streets. That's what these cats be saying now. No Diddy. Crack me up. But anyway, I have to give it to Baron though. But we used to call him B Diddy back in the day. That's ironic. That's what made me think of that when you said it, because he had a little S curl. I'm not trying to get no, that wasn't what the thing was. The thing was about his body type being how, because cats say you thick, you built. Now means different things, but it wasn't. And I don't really keep up with Caleb like that. But just that made me think of that when Barstar said, I haven't kept up with Caleb like that. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I ain't never even see what his mama look good. I've never seen his mama. So I don't even know. But just what everyone, I don't have one in particular. The thing about it with me, I just jump to things that I like. And what I mean by that is if I feel that there's some balance, um, old school, new school, sometimes cats make sense. Sometimes they're talking for an audience. I like watching Rasheed Wallace. I don't always agree with him. 8 out of 10. Um, and again, it's kind of loaded because I respect everyone that does it. I like everyone that participates in it. But I'm looking for there's different things. Like to me, to hear Charles Barkley and Kenny and Ernie and Shaq talk is still the standards to me because it's comical. They drop some gems and they connect as for the casual. So I like that. But Sheets gives me the street, cracks me up, some of it. And I like all the local cats that do their own thing. It depends. Now, like if I see someone that's got Rick Barry on, I'm gonna watch him. So it all depends on where you're coming from it, you know. Bucher is tough. He's tough. He's very knowledgeable. He breaks stuff down, you know. I mean, back in the day before we didn't have a podcast, but David Dupree, David Aldrich, I used to listen to those cats talk. Especially Dupree. Dupree to me was pretty straightforward. But you know, I listen to all of them. I mean, if it depends on which angle we're coming from. I bought that book by that cat named Elliot Cobb. It was back 2003. Because at that book, he had Shaq as the greatest player ever in his book. And I remember I had that book. Um, but I don't, it's not one that I would say. I like different ones for different reasons. Different ones. As long as I don't think they're being bought and paid for, I will listen to them. You know, um, I like them when they're objective. I would prefer one that really doesn't have one player as the greatest player ever because I just think it's except they curse too much for me and I think they be loud. And Steven Jackson sometimes they be doing too much. Matt Barnes kind of be doing too much. I watch it. I have watched it. However, sometimes they be doing too much though. They try to be too much like around the way, and sometimes it comes across like a bad stereotype, you know. And I think the toughest thing for me is one of those guys was a never was, and one of those guys was a could have been. And I think that's what makes it kind of tough, if I'm honest. Gilbert is like a troll, and he throws a gem once in a blue moon, but he be trolling a lot of times. He be hanging around 50 or something. So it's you know, Sheed speaks more towards the way I like to hear Cat break it down and funny, except when he did all that Scottie Pippen slurping, which I can't connect with. And then when he tried to downplay Jordan's left defense and stuff, and some things he'd be saying, but he's entertaining. He keeps they got to be entertaining, but I don't be getting into the ones that are always trying to rank people and all that. I gotta watch Nick Wrong. I wonder how Nick Wrong feels today. I have to check him out. When I go eat in about 20 minutes, I'm gonna check out Mr. Nick Wrong. See how we did Nicky Wrong. Let me know how LeBron did you. I'ma love it. Why he did not see this coming, I don't get it. I just don't get why he didn't see it coming. It was a bad matchup. LeBron is old. And they don't have the tools on the front to beat that team. There's a reason why Jamal Murray took 2 games from you. You don't have a guy who can counter that. Because D'Lo and Reeves ain't it. They're not the tone to put them two together ain't one. Of course he was said he got it coming. Listen, I'll give it to him about Patrick Mahomes. But LeBron is at the end of the career. And you know how this is gonna end. Come on now. He's 4 years removed from a finals. So it's not gonna end well. And then the league then moved on. Better go find someone else to jump on because the league then moved on. I'm not a hater when I say it because listen, I'll tell anybody. You asked me about my team. I told you we weren't that talented. Yeah, he gets around. I told you we don't have the talent to beat Boston. I told you already. I'm very surprised, they getting their butt handed to them. And what's his butt went off last night? Mr. White. He tore their behind up. Tore their butt up last night. They ain't got no answer for Boston. None at all. I give Spo his due. As a great coach. I still say the best going because nobody else could have won one game against Boston. Nobody. Especially when you consider the lineup he got. But they just outmatched. And you got to have talent. I don't care how much heart and soul you got to have the talent. You don't have that, you're going to lose. Yeah, but even though he got hurt, White tore they behind up. What about that? He tore their butt up last night. 38. He was ripping them. They're a better team. Do I think that they're like Barkley like to say a championship team that could win it all? No. They lose too much at home. They get sloppy and they can be handled and dealt with. Does the powers that be want them to win? Yes. Because I believe if Boston wins a ring, Jason Tatum will be an MVP regardless if he deserves it or not. I see the writing on the wall. They want him to get at least one. I loved it. I was cracking up. And we went fishing with New Orleans was comical and sad. Well, you keep on. I'll tell you something. You keep messing with AD and LeBron. You be fishing every year. And when you don't play good, start your season, you know you're not a good team. That's the reality. And I'm probably one of the few people that's saying it right now. I think he should consider retiring. I really do. I just don't see what else he can do because he's got 40,000 points. What's he going to do? You don't have a championship team around you. Ain't no might to it. They need to. Ain't no might to it. Might went out the window when they went to the finals last year. And don't get excited because you got to the finals and you lost 5 to Denver, who was a better team. He should retire too. What did I tell you already? I told you your starting 5 or 6 are going to be ready for Paris to go to the Olympics. Did I lie? Did I lie? Because Kawhi going to join you soon. Joe Embiid about to join you. Come on now. You might win the gold. I take it back. You might win because everybody going to be fresh and ready aside from Ant. But 6 of you guys are going to be ready. They're going to be well rested. Told you. You asked me what I told you for the playoffs started. These cats is oh man, they done. It's the what they did when they were in their peak and their prime is different now because LeBron and AD don't really work. That don't really work. That might be his worst 1-2 punch he's ever had, if you want my honest opinion. Because he don't let him thrive. He has to thrive. He has to score 40. That's the only way they got a chance. That's why they beat Golden State last year. When he was uneven, when he was 41 night and 14 the next, that's what leads to bad habits. He has to have consistent rhythm. KD just playing alongside anybody to score a lot of points ain't gonna work. You gotta have a point guard, you gotta have a low piece and a bench. They're not on the same pace. And he's vulnerable, he's hurt. Just not a deep team. So that worked against him. And then Kawhi is old, his body breaking down, so he should retire too. I'm telling you, that's out with the old. I ain't lying. And see, you get a teams like a Denver who got a big and a low, come along. You get teams like OKC, no one's paying, come along. Memphis was like that. They were fools gold. We'll see. But then you got Minnesota, got tight. Dallas with Luca. So where do you fit? Because I got about 4 teams that are top 4. You ain't breaking them 4 with what you got. And I'm afraid for you that LeBron and AD together, that's what they're gonna be running up against. Yeah, they probably can fare well. And I'm gonna say this, just so you don't think I'm hating. You probably could beat, I say 3 through onward. Minnesota might have been a problem. I got a feeling that could have been a 6 game. Minnesota probably get you in 6. OKC, I don't know. They're young. I don't know. But Denver, Minnesota, I don't think you beat them. But everybody else, you got a chance. I give you that. But the problem is that your seating is pathetic. You get hurt. You don't really utilize your team, and you don't utilize AD the right way. And injuries and hating your coach and your bench and rotation. There's a lot of things that work against it. So, but having said that though, you had a chance to redeem yourself against Denver and didn't get it done. And if I'm AD, I shut up. Talk about I want that smoke. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want that smoke. I give him about 3 years. I think he'll have at least a couple years where he can still be at a top level. I think he's got about 3 in him. Then I would say, yeah. If he retired now, he'd be like Barry Sanders. They'd be holding him up in higher regard because they'd be thinking, oh, he still had 2 or 3 top year. So if he did, he would. No, but he's not a top flight dude. He could be a second, third option with a certain type of team. No, I wouldn't say retire now. He still got a couple more in him. But as far as being the lead dog, no. He did put up 33 against the Mavericks, and he looked good with James Harden. He still got a couple years in him, but as a sidekick, he's not a front dude, though. Them days is long gone. He could still play, but he's not a top dude, though. I didn't even know he was still playing. Is he still playing? I didn't even know. Man, Memphis, right? Go to what? Go to what? Yeah, I ain't even forgot he's still playing. To be a GOAT considered, you gotta actually have a career that people still remember. We ain't thought about D Rose in about 10 years. I'm gonna keep it 100. No, no. Could have been though. I woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I can't call it. I can't call it. I did when he was playing in his best days, but not when he went to Cleveland and New York and played for half the NBA. No, I can't do it. I remember him his best from 2010 to about 2012. I'm gonna remember that guy. This guy, the last 10 years, he's good enough to play in the league, but yeah, but that's a long time ago. I don't think he was forced out. I think he forced his own self out because what could he do? No one cared about him in Houston, OKC, with Portland, with the Lakers. He was stat padding, and he wasted potential. I believe he made his own bed. I'm sorry. That dude in Denver, I will give you. Parts of New York, I'll give you. After that, I don't care about his career. I can't really get with Melo after that. I think he ran his own self out because he's one dimensional and he didn't bring more to his game. But I welcome people that are fans of his. I mean, I liked him, but I didn't love his game though. One of the greatest players ever, and I'm gonna tell you a story too. He's high on my all-time list, and I'm gonna tell you why. Whenever I hear anyone ask me, "Oh, how would the Bulls of the '90s done against Golden State in 2017?" He's the first person that comes to my mind. I know that sounds sacrilegious because you're gonna throw Michael Jordan and throw that down my throat. I'm gonna tell you why Rodman. Because of his uniqueness for what he did, you have no answer for him. If you put him in Draymond Green's shoes, he matches that and he's better. He's one of those few players that I can take from 30 years ago almost, and it travels because you really can't put that. And I know you're gonna come at me and say, "Oh, he ain't score a lot of points." Guess what? Draymond don't either. Draymond be having triple singles, 6 fouls, 6 turnovers, and thrown out of game. So before you come at me with that, think about Rodman. You really can't put that. It's so unique that he would be scary today, just doing what he do. Crazy, but he could play. And I'm gonna tell you something. He was a man amongst boys then. He would slap these dudes today. He would be scary today because all he does is what he does. It impacts the game. Volleyball, tapping, hustling, moving. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You'd have to man up. And I believe in my heart of hearts, he could average a double figures in scoring because you know what he do with the boards and the blocks and the rebounds and the hustle, and he could outrun you. He's the dude that I could use as a link to today. Underrated outside shot. And you know he could pass. So yeah, he would be dominant today. I mean, he went against Shaq and Karl Malone. I couldn't imagine what he do with Dennis, Draymond Green and some of these cats that they got in the box today. You know what? He's the kind of dude that Giannis could use on Milwaukee right now. Had style, would cover their bases. You know, so I think highly of him. If you must know, one of my favorite players ever, because you can't coach what he could do. Oh heck yeah, they win the chip then. Then I won't look at them as soft. I know Marcus Smart had the green hair and all that, but they were and Robert Williams could block shots. They weren't. They didn't get in nobody. Rodman got in you. They could use him. Yeah, because Rodman could win games, and that's what teams like that don't. They don't really move me because they they play tough on TV. They don't really have no enforcer. He could do the thing. He was a unique player in that regard. So that's why I say that about Rodman. A lot of teams could use him. Should you know how people be acting like Dylan Brooks is some kind of enforcer? Please. He couldn't carry Dennis Rodman's Kool-Aid package. Thank you. I'll be keeping it 100. I'm glad. Thank you, Divine, for me asking me about Rodman because I don't get to talk about it. That's why I love the live streams. Things I don't usually do in regular interviews or do in regular broad videos. I can do it here when you ask me about somebody like that because I will gladly speak on that. One of my favorite players ever because I think he's. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he belongs in the goatest of goats, but my least favorite player. You talking about ever? You talking about ever? There's quite a few of them. I mean, Danny Ainge was one of them. Um, there's quite a few. You know, if you're talking about a big name, what's up? If you're talking about a big name, that's a least favorite. I'm gonna probably, well, I have to. That's what you really want. You want the bombs. So I'll probably tell you Scottie Pippen because the delusion of grandeur is ridiculous. Talented all around player, but you are not that dude. And his arrogance and ego didn't just rub me the wrong way. I remember things he did, but then I remember a lot he didn't do. So, you know, I have a problem with what he says about Jordan. Not because I hold Jordan as the greatest or nothing, because I don't, but I didn't like his arrogance. Yeah, Scotty trips too much. I mean, yeah, he was all around player, but he had a lot of boo boo games. He had a lot of times he didn't come up big. And I think he talked too much trash to not you know. So I have a problem with that. I don't mind if you backed it up, but I don't have no long collection of him being that dude, especially without Jordan too. He had a chance back in 2020, and he didn't deliver. He could have beaten Shaq when Shaq was at his apex, beat the Lakers, beat Phil before Kobe had a chance to develop. Blew a 15-point lead in LA. He was the leader of the team, and that's all she wrote. And that's one of the reasons why when we talk Scottie Pippen, he's a guy who could have been somewhere. If he wins without Jordan and makes a statement with Portland, he's probably top 7 or 8 ever. But depends on who you talk to, he's in the 38 range. So he comes to mind. I have quite a few least favorite players, though. I do. But I know people want the ones that get you going, like, "Ooh, I didn't see that coming." So that's what I do. But I'm not gonna just say it for shock value. I back it up with facts. There are guys that were so called that I just don't be feeling like that. Well, him against Steph Curry would be intriguing, style wise. Uh, Jokic against him would be intriguing because Jokic got size, he can handle, he can move, he can beat you inside out. That's a compelling figure. To beat him today, you got to have a guy who can go inside out and got range. So I think those two come to mind. I don't think Ant quite got it yet. He's getting there, but he ain't quite there yet. He's still raw. Um, he take Jason Tatum. Tatum can be streaky. Tatum is tight on the take, but sometimes when he falls in love with that outside shot, he can get a little. His lulls himself to sleep. There got to be a certain guy that you didn't expect that I think that could work with that. So I think it would have to be someone like Jokic or Steph. LeBron couldn't beat him on a one-on-one, and I don't know if Durant could either. Oh yeah, thank you. Which pick did you like that I said? It was chill. It was cool. I got some business taken care of today. How about yourself? I took care of business. Gotta go out tomorrow, take care of business. But it was cool once I got going. Well, Curry, but I also said Jokic too. Because Jokic, big boy who can inside out. And he will take your butt to the hole. And he will bust your behind deep with that bowling ball three he got. So it has to be someone that's versatile, and that's cool. It's got to be someone versatile, got handles, can move. I think Jokic would be a compelling figure. I would definitely put Jokic up against Larry Bird. That would be compelling. That would be real compelling because he's gotten better. His arsenal has gotten better. So I might do my videos tomorrow and ask the question who should retire or not. It'd be some interesting takes. Nah, not thinking ahead right now. Just trying to stay warm one day at a time. Just getting some stuff organized. That's all. Make sure the weather's actually good, and it'll come to me eventually. About yourself. I got you. That's how it usually goes. That's how it usually goes. Nah, I don't. Summertime. That them days of doing stuff for the summer was like another lifetime ago. One day I'll get back to that though. Excuse me. I got. See what's up. No, I'm just kind of because I got to get myself together because I got comfortable for a moment, and I've been up early, and I don't mean to do that. I'm not being disrespect because I'm gonna get up in about 8 minutes because I'm gonna go eat, and it just kind of caught up with me. That's all. My bad on that. Just that when people stop asking questions and then we stop talking, then that's when I got kind of like, you know, that's all. Because I got some message just got sent to me on X that Magic Johnson said something he was disappointed about. Bet it was about them Lakers, so that's all. But now, just some veggie tacos. That's what I like to eat. Protein, plant based. About yourself? Yeah. What about yourself? What's up? Yeah, well, I just like I'm a vegetarian. That's all. That's all I eat. So it's a nice weather. Don't feel like doing slaving over no kitchen. Keep it simple. And I can keep it easy. So now I changed my diet long ago. Lettuce, tomato, uh, cucumber, beans. No, it messes up your cholesterol in your diet. And then because again, it's important what you eat. You know, I really changed a lot of stuff after COVID because if you ever lock up something and you can't dislodge your system, you could be in trouble. So I'm thinking, no, keep my food simple, stay on the grind of good health, and just stay out of that zone. So yeah, I don't trust these doctors and these people. So I gotta, you know, it's just the consciousness. That's all. And the food, you gotta be careful what you eat. So it's just like taking care of what you do. And I ain't really feeling a lot of this stuff they put out there. No, it's that stuff be all processed, and I'm not with all that. So taking better care of yourself, that's what I say. But I practice what I preach. Okay, I got about 5 more minutes before I roll. I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. See if anybody comments anything. So I can go ahead and get down. But yeah, I'm glad everybody came through. We had a real interesting. Got some good questions too. I appreciate what you asked me too, because you asked me about there's a couple of good questions that you asked. We were talking about. Let me get back up on it. Yeah, about Jordan. Oh yeah, there be some real sick folks. They be putting their fingers all in stuff and act like you don't notice it and playing it off and licking their fingers and stuff. I'm like, y'all come on now. Be doing some funky stuff. I used to mess with Walmart, but then it just like some local health type stores, because I'm very funny about the stores I go to. So I look for fruit and veg stores. I don't really mess with too many marketing ones if I can help it. Prices be too expensive. And I find like some mom and pop stores that has the stuff I want. Because if you know how to shop, you can keep your costs down. If you don't know how to shop, you can get robbed. So bump that. So, but yeah, I just try to stay out of places that just don't look too good. And like if you're going to spend money on, it depends on what you're looking to get yourself into food wise. So I'm just kind of cautious like that. That's all. Well, you can do that with tacos. As I mentioned, you can take certain type of tofu. You can, with beans, anything that's high in protein and iron, you can do. Um, sauces that you can, because you can do stuff with sauces. You can create a vegetable salad. Like you can create corn, beans. Um, there's vegan meat. There's different things that you can blend. You can make it into like a salad. You can create it into like a soup. There's a lot of different ways you can go. It's not limited. It's just like like a pizza. You can do a lot with it. You can manipulate and try different things. You know, stir fries. You know, so there's a lot of things that you can do. Black rice is one of my favorites. Make a dish with that and combine it with vegetables and vegan meat thing with it. Cut it up, make that into a stir fry like a wild rice dish with corn, asparagus if you got them. Anything green, peas is good. Uh, all that. Yeah. Well, black rice is forbidden rice, Asian, but I learned about how the importance of it. Got it. It costs a little bit more though. Yeah, and then also that can be more starchy and greasy and fatty on you. But I found out about black rice. It's real rare. Got it at one of them hippie stores, and once I got addicted to it, I was like, I want that because it tasted different too. And I didn't use a lot. You put it in a crock pot or bowl, you blend your water, hit your vegetables. You can create a lot of dishes. Put some sauces to it. You can make a lot of dishes. Yeah, I know. That's why I mess with it. Try to find something that ain't overblown that you got to go out and search for, but then you can make it whole. So there I go. So that's how I came up with that. Definitely. And well, I'm gonna get ready to roll though, because I was over here for an hour and a half almost, and appreciate everybody that came through. Do come back again. This has been cool. Appreciate the conversation about food and music. Well, we didn't talk about music. We talk about sports, but appreciate the going into different conversations about different things. And I'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Everything's all good. Appreciate everybody coming through. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay warm. The next time, I'm out. Right on. Peace.